sitting here at the Pilot, just outside of Houston, practicing patience. Patience. Load boards are looking pretty good over the past few days. I've been watching the load counts build up and the rates. When there's more loads, obviously drivers have a choice. The rates have got to go up, and that's what's been happening over the past couple of days, especially for these Hotshot loads. And so I grabbed a load yesterday going to North Dakota. Love driving up in that direction, and I got it for a pretty good rate. A very, very light load. It's small partial, and I've got options on this. I can pick it up this morning, run up there, deliver it Friday morning, and try to find something around there coming back or going anywhere. Or what I'm leaning towards is finding, just getting that one loaded, finding something else going anywhere, because I don't really have to deliver this partial until Monday. So it gives me a lot of options. Looking at a lot of good loads falling on the board and actually staying there for an extended period of time, whereas in the past few months, if something with a rate of over $1 a mile fell on the load board, if you didn't call, it was gone within a minute. So right now things are staying on the load board a little bit longer. Rates are creeping up there, and just weighing my options here. I've got a couple of things I've put in some bids on. Just gonna see what happens. I treated myself last night. Stayed at the La Quinta. It was a busy, stressful day yesterday. Let me show you what I got. Not gonna be able to see anything, but we got one partial right there. It's a stack of plywood. That was supposed to go in the van, but when I showed up, they asked me if they could put it on the trailer. I said, sure. Everything's under a tarp just about, but I've got one crate right here that's 20 feet long. And this little fiberglass, I don't know what these things are called, but they're fiberglass angles. They weigh about 50 pounds. 3 partials. It was work all day, staying on that load board every second of the day. Missed out on some very good loads. There were lots of loads dropping on the board yesterday with some good rates on them finally. And I'd booked my first partial with that in mind. The first partial I booked was the crate, and it's going to North Dakota. And I had the option of delivering it Friday or Monday. So it gave me plenty of time. Yesterday was Wednesday, to find something to go along with it. And so in the meantime, I could run some local partials and make a little bit of money to try to find something to go along with it. But we'll see what falls on the board today. Okay, well, that went a lot faster than I thought it was going to. When I was picking this up yesterday, it's just 3 pieces of some angle made out of fiberglass, and an 18-wheeler got to the place where I picked up. He got there exact same time I did, but he had been there before, so he knew the procedure, and he sort of cheated on me. I stopped and went in to sign at shipping and receiving. The way it's supposed to work, you're supposed to sign in and then pull around to the back. He knew how it worked, so he didn't sign in. He just pulled all the way around to the back and got in line first, and then came back and signed in. At the time, I didn't think it was a big deal, but him being in a flatbed, it took them about an hour to load him. Meanwhile, I'm sitting there waiting for one 50-pound piece. And I kept calling. I didn't keep calling. I called a couple times, and I said, hey, I just need this one piece and I'll be out of here. When I'm doing partials like this, I'm trying to get as many as I can. And when you're around like Houston, that's where I was at yesterday, the next partial might be an hour away on the other side of Houston, so you don't want to waste too much time. And this probably kept me from getting another partial that day, yesterday, and earning a little bit more money, sitting there waiting over an hour to get one little piece. And so it probably cost me $300 or $400, but it happens from time to time. So today, when I went to drop off, I got in there. It was 3 straps. All I had to do was move them out of the way and put them back on. I was unstrapped and had my load resecured with those 3 little angles on top in 5 minutes. Before I ever went and checked in, this guy wasn't even ready. Went and checked in. The guy had my paperwork. He goes, okay. He went and jumped on the forklift. He goes, I got to run around here real quick and I'll be right back. And I'm thinking, I can take this off the trailer by hand and put it on your loading dock, and I can be out of here in 2 minutes. But ended up waiting on him. I thought it was going to take a lot longer. Ended up waiting about 10 minutes, and he finally came back around. And I ended up pushing it up onto his forks anyway. So, but those little things like that can really catch up, and it's what keeps you from, well, it keeps me from booking several partials, because you just don't know how long it's going to take to get loaded and how far away that next partial could be. Because they could say, yeah, it's in Houston, but it could literally be an hour drive to the other side of Houston to get it, and you could be late. OMG. It has been a battle. I'm going over here to pick up a partial. First was the weather. I had to slow down. It was blowing me all over the road. Then construction. Then some guy tried to run me over because he didn't want to merge in construction. Then 2 wrecks trying to get through Houston. Then I get to a point about a quarter of a mile from here, and a truck has backed into the ditch. So I make a turn. Luckily, I was able to pull up a little bit and make a turn and come down this road. And right before I get here, a train. And now the train is slowing down. I don't even see the end of it. Oh my gosh. It's one of those days. Holy cow. This is amazing. The past 2 days I've been really trying to get all these partials in, and everything has been happening. It just seems to happen that way. This guy has a backhoe that's broke down on the tracks. They don't want to let me pass. I could pass right through there, but they don't want to let me do that. It just doesn't make any sense why they won't let me just go right through there. He's obviously not going anywhere. A train's not going to show up. So I'm about to blow by this thing. Let's get this show on the road. Well, we're sitting here ready to get loaded. There's one truck in front of me, and this will be my third partial going on the truck. I have 2 more to pick up today. Things have to go just perfect for me to get these things and get on the road. And then they also have to go perfect on Monday and Tuesday for me to get them delivered. But I've been at this place before, and I'm very nervous about this because this place takes their time to load you for no reason whatsoever. It's almost like their union. They don't open that door a minute before 8, and when they start loading you, they just take their time. Last time I was here, I had 4 cylinders, and he took me in, showed me what they were. I looked at the weights on them. I said, this is exactly how I want them loaded. It took him nearly an hour for us to get them on the trailer and get them right. And at that point, they weren't even exactly how I wanted them. But I just said, hell with it, I'm getting out of here. He was just, the guy on the forklift was methodical and slow. And the communication between him and the office, which is 30 feet away, was just horrible. But there is one truck in front of me, a Hotshot, and I will never cut in front of another driver who gets before me. But I have 2 boxes to pick up. 2 small boxes that the agent said could go in the front seat of my truck. So in this instance, I'm going to let him check in, and I'm going to be right there behind him, and I'm going to say, I don't want to cut in front of the guy. I don't want to hold him up, but I'm going to say, hey, can I just grab these 2 boxes and get out of here? Because I have 2 more stops to make, and one of them is about 350 miles away, and I have to be there before 4. So hopefully, fingers crossed, they'll just let me grab these boxes and go. Oh man, this is always what happens when you're in a hurry. First place, I've been there before. I knew they took their time. It took a long time. This place is the exact same way. We'll see what happens.
Take the next left onto Commerce Street, then turn right onto Mako
I don't
Drive.
like to try to book multiple partials. It's good money, but the dispatch process, trying to find the loads, gets to be stressful. And then trying to get all of them loaded, going in the same direction, and on time. This is a bumpy, squeaky road. Is the stressful part. And so I've got 4 partials on the truck now. 4. Got 1 more to pick up. 350 miles to go, and have to be there before 4.
Take the next right onto Mako Drive.
And my GPS says I'll be there at 3:45. Still have to fuel up. So fingers crossed.
In 1,000 feet, turn right onto Texas 390 Loop North.
Woo! Got here 3 minutes before they closed. 3 minutes. Hopefully there's somebody still here. The dog's here. All right, so everything came off almost without a hitch. Lots of little delays that stress you out, but that's the life of doing partials, and especially stacking them up like this. This is tough to do. Hopefully we can get them all off, but we got 1 partial up there going to Utah, 1 partial right there going to Utah. This one's going to North Dakota, so that's 3 partials in the truck. And then we got 2 partials on the trailer. So this long crate here that's really nastily wrapped, I had that thing wrapped perfectly with my tarp, but I had it on this side of the trailer. And when I went to pick up these partials, the tanks and these racks right here, they're going to Utah. They wanted to load them from this side, so I had to move. Luckily, this only weighed about 500 pounds, so I was able to untarp it, move it all over here by hand so they could load this up here. And so that is what 5 partials look like. Like I said, not easy to do. But well, I should say not easy to do in this market that we're in right now, but things are looking a little bit better every single day. And I planned it like this. I booked the first one, which was this long one, and my plan was to hold on to that one. I could deliver it on Friday or Monday, and I planned on to hold on to it till Monday and just book as many partials to go with it as I could, just to see what I could do. And it's just kind of all came together. So I got my fingers crossed. Hopefully we can get it off all on time. And I was just looking at this over here. I don't know if you guys can see this clouds in the sky. That is a weird, sort of reminds you of the flag out there. But that's what we got. And so as of right now, it is Friday night, and I'm on my way to North Dakota first. I've got 2 partials. Fortunately, both of those are going to the same town. Fingers crossed, hopefully. And so when I get those unloaded first thing Monday morning, as of right now, I have about 850 miles to go. So I have 2 different plans in mind. We'll see how it goes, but plan number 1 is to drive about 700 miles tomorrow, and then do a reset and do the other 150 on Monday morning, deliver both of the partials in North Dakota, and then I have about an 850 mile drive to get to Salt Lake City to deliver one of the other partials. So I'd be able to get in about 8 hours of driving on Monday, and then I would have to get up really early because they want these other partials by midday. So I have to get up really early to get that first partial delivered in Salt Lake City, and then drop off the other partial by around noon, just south of there. The other plan is to just drive all the way to North Dakota. Once I get there, I'll have about 20 hours left on my clock, and I will have basically a whole day to drive. I can get 700 miles in, and really I'll be able to deliver at the same time. Just won't have to get up as early on Tuesday morning. So we'll see. I'd like to have a reset in after I deliver to Salt Lake City, but it's not, it's not a big thing if I don't. I'll just head over to Vegas, do my reset there. So that is 5 partials, going a total of about 2,300 miles. And if you want to know what it pays, you'll have to wait till the next video. This is a to be continued video. I don't want to jinx anything and give you the rate and then my truck breaks down, God forbid, or that's the thing with these partials, especially when you have this many. One little thing can throw you off, and it just a series of events. I got the first one loaded on Wednesday, And like I said, I was just waiting around for partials to go in that same direction. So what I did on Wednesday was I just did a couple of small loads around Houston and waited on the load board to catch up and put more some more choices out there. So on Thursday, I did find a load. That's the second load I found going up to North Dakota, was going to the same town my first load was going to. So got real lucky on that one, and had quite a drive to get over to it. And it just, things were conspiring. Traffic, construction, weather, almost got blown off the road a couple of times. Then I got within 2 miles of the pickup, and with the agent calling me every 30 minutes wanting to know when I was going to be there. The thing was, they didn't stop shipping until 5. I got there at 3, I think it was, or 2 or 3. But I had promised them 11 a.m. and that's when I thought I was going to be there. But just things conspired, and that's what will happen when on these partials. That's what stresses you out, is trying to get everything done, and you're relying on other people to get you loaded on time, which normally in this box truck with a little Hotshot, I'm loaded in and out, except for when I'm in a hurry. So got loaded there, and my next partial was going to pick up in Shreveport, which was a couple hundred miles away. Luckily, my house was right in the middle. I was able to stop at the house overnight. And on the way home, I basically booked 2 more for the next day to pick up, all on Friday. And I'll show you that. But stay tuned for middle of next week. Hopefully, I'll be bringing you a video showing you how much I made on this run.